oh my God, we did like 200,000 views. Oh, that's great. The day after, we made 1 million views. I was like, oh, on the third day, we made 4 million views. On the fourth day, we made 10 million views. Like every day, we're just waking up and seeing these like insane amount of views.
Which came first, your DNA test or the idea for I Am Migration?
The DNA test. I took the DNA test in a time where immigration was being degraded, the process of immigration, and immigrants, especially Latinos, were being dehumanized. So I had a curiosity, well, like, where do I come from? You know, we all migrated to some place. So at that moment, it came both from this political time of, you know, questioning, who are you, where you come from? So I started to question the same things to myself. And then once I got the results, it was pretty clear. I was like, oh, wow, I am from 10 different parts of the world. That's crazy. Like, and funny enough, I've lived in some of those places. So I really feel like, you know, I'm 20% Italian, and I am, even though I didn't knew I was at that time. So for me, kind of clicked. I was like, okay, I'm from 10 different parts of the world. So that means, you know, every human being on earth, they all also be from different parts of the world. So it's like, how about we use this idea and kind of make a statement of where we stand, my husband and I. And that's when the idea that I Am Migration came, because the idea was like, so if we all come migration, we're all migration, you know? And if we go hundreds and thousands of years back, we all come from one woman, the African Eve. So we all have migrated to where we are at this moment.
And your husband took the test as well?
My husband took the test. He took it much later than I did. He was very surprised because he thought he was going to have also many ethnicities, and now he's 66% Irish. He's from Australia, and then I think he's Scandinavian and I want to say English. So he only had like 3 ethnicities. So he was like, oh, I wish I had more. But he was like, but I never thought I was Irish. You know, he never crossed his mind that he was so Irish. So that was good for him because now he has a curiosity. He's always been very curious about history and all this. So now he's more interested in the Irish side of history.
Why did you want to make the video, the short, for I Am Migration?
I wanted to show that we all come from migration, and that even as different we all look or we all sound, we are a big family. We're a big human family. So that was like my message that I wanted to come across. You know, like sometimes it's very easy to judge another person by their looks or by the way they talk or by their beliefs. It's very easy. We're judgmental people. So I wanted kind of to break through that and see, like, you know, even though we might look one thing, inside we might be another thing that you never know. And if that's the case, it's okay. Like, we're all humans, and there's no such thing as like one race because we've been so mixed, you know. So I kind of wanted to show that too. We're all a little bit part of everyone, and as again, if you go back in time, we're all siblings in a way.
Right, kind of goes back to, yeah, nature versus nurture. Like, did we grow up within that culture and maybe we don't seem that way to other people that are from that culture, or some people gravitate towards cultures that aren't actually in their blood and they just feel, I don't know, that there's a term for it. I don't know if it's cultural appreciation. There's some terminology for it, that they identify more with something that they might not be.
Absolutely.
But, why didn't you speak in the short? Why silent?
I don't know. I just had this idea. I just want to show the ethnicities with a blank piece of paper. I don't know why I didn't feel like the needs for words, because I also thought that just by embracing each one of my ethnicities in the way I did, I was saying a lot. And sometimes an image, it's worth more than 1,000 words.
How did you go about selecting each outfit for the
That's
ethnicity?
what took me the most. So the actually short, we shot it in one day with an iPhone in the backdrop by us. But the actual research, it took me about 3 months. So I started to research each one of my ethnicities and where did I come from. And then I saw, okay, so I'm from this region. Like, let's see what people from this region used to wear, you know? And so that's how it started. Like, and I actually got pieces, for example, I didn't want to, there is a very fine line between appropriation and appreciation. And it's very easy to cross it. So I didn't want to cross it. I want to have appreciation for these ethnicities, not appropriating them. So I didn't want to cross them. So I was very careful. So each ethnicity, for example, the ones that I say is that I'm 29% Iberian, I bought a scarf from that place. I had pieces actually from those parts of the country. So that's what it took the most, because I had to go on Etsy, find the pieces, have them delivered. I had to study what kind of makeup they use, what kind of clothes they use. Like, I wanted to be as precise as I could be in order to show that appreciation.
Yeah, no, there is a fine line between sort of a mocking and a regarding, and sometimes being from another culture, you don't realize you might be offending.
Exactly.
Yeah, very interesting. Do you remember the filming process of the short?
Yes, I remember that we prep a couple of weeks before, but on the day, it was just my husband and I. He had the camera, I had prepped all the little written things, and I remember he was writing all of them. He's also highly dyslexic. I don't know why we trusted him with this. So, for example, Polynesian is misspelled. There is a Y instead of an I. But now I look back and I just laugh about it. But it was nice because it's always him and I. We work together. We did a documentary together. Every project we've done together. So we have a good team. And so we did it in a day, and he was just behind the cameras. I was in front of the cameras, and then I edited on my phone the day after.
What about the hairstyles for each ethnicity?
So hairstyles and makeup, I studied to be a certified makeup artist before I moved to LA years ago. So I was actually a professional makeup artist for 3 years. So I learned how to do makeup and basic hairstyles. So that came in really handy when it was just me and my husband to do it.
How long did it take to come up with the idea to actually finish the short?
It took about, from the moment I had the idea and took the DNA test to the moment we did it, it was about 3 months.
3 months, okay, interesting. When you decided to upload the video, did you have a specific time? Did you plan out that it would go viral?
No, we didn't plan anything. We didn't think it was gonna go viral. We just wanted kind of to put a message out and see how people will receive it. So I put it on my private Facebook, actually, at first. It was just my private Facebook, and it started to go viral there, just between friends, sharing it and resharing it. And then I opened the video to be public, and that's when it's like, I remember the day after we had it, was like, oh my God, we did like 200,000 views. Oh, that's great. The day after, we made 1 million views. I was like, oh, on the third day, we made 4 million views. On the fourth day, we made 10 million views. Like, every day, we're just waking up and seeing this like insane amount of views. So it was a very pleasant surprise.
And how was it to manage some of the comments that were coming in?
I tried at the beginning not to get too personal. Luckily, I want to say that 80% were positive comments and 20% were negative comments. So I felt like I was lucky that way. And then sometimes the negativity, it will come either from people's ignorance or people not understanding the message completely. So I kind of give them like a pass. I was like, it's okay. Never felt like I was never really attacked in a way, you know, so I think that was good. But when they were negative, I was just like, okay, well, that's their opinion. Let's keep going, because the positive is much bigger than the negative.
Yeah, and with the positive, did people share their own personal experiences?
Yes, a lot of people shared. And when we started to give away free DNA tests for the people that would share, like, people were very excited because people also started to replicate the video with my permission. So we see people going through their DNA, kind of trying to do the same thing. So it was very inspiring for many of them.
Right, you have another lady on your channel that you did where she said that she didn't actually know her dad growing up.
Yes.
And yeah, I love that one.
Kamala is a great story. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. She's a really good friend of mine. And when she told me that story, I was like, oh, wow, we need to show you, because like, it's interesting because she has vitiligo, right? But since the moment I've met her, she looks like a Caucasian woman, you know? So we always thought she was Caucasian. And she told me this story. She was like, no, I'm just Latina as you are. You know, my father was Puerto Rican. When I was born, she was like, I was as brown as you were. And then as I started to grow up, I started to become white because my skin started to fade. So I was like, that's such an interesting story, so unique. You know, she almost changed races, right? And right. What that come, because she told me, like, you know, I came from a very small community, Montreal in Oregon, you know, where like sometimes it could be hard to have someone who looks different than them. So when she was little, she suffered with that. But then as she grew, and I guess as she changed skins, as I say, you know, like the perception of her also changed, you know? So it's I love that story.
What did you learn from the experience of the viral video that you could share with others if they were setting out to make a viral video?
Well, because I wasn't setting up to make a viral video was very surprisingly, but my experience that I give to people, a lot of people ask me, so what do I do if I'm just starting? I don't know what to do. I don't have the means. And I always say, like, listen, nowadays we have a phone. And with a phone, we can do so much. Like 20, 30 years ago, we couldn't. We had to rent a camera. We had to rent an equipment. It was like nowadays, we have this little tool in our pockets. So I always encourage them, if you have an idea, just get it done. Like get your voice out there because you never know what's going to stick. You never know what's going to touch somebody's heart, So just put it out there. Use your phone. Do whatever you do.
Great. Yeah, I know it's very difficult to orchestrate a viral video. I think it just has to be part timing, magic, what's in the zeitgeist.
Absolutely. And I think, for example, I knew that video went viral the most in France, and it's because they were about to have elections, and there was like this anti-migration immigration policy. So for them, they really felt it close to them. And so I was featured in Elle magazine in France and all that because it went viral there. Like, wow. I didn't plan to go viral in France, with just the timing of, the elections. It was just timing and luck, I guess.